The HOA president cornered my 9-year-old daughter at the bus stop and tried to charge her $50 a week just to stand there. She said bus access is a neighborhood privilege. What she didn't know was that I'm the chief of police, and that privilege ended with handcuffs. My name's Lucas Morris. 61 knees that complain louder than I do, and a man who just wants to drink his coffee while it's still hot. After 40 years in law enforcement, I thought I'd earned a little peace and quiet. My daughter Lucy's the shy kind, tiny but unshakable, and that morning she was waiting for the bus when the peace shattered like a window hit by a brick. There she was, Karen Truman, the self-appointed queen of Willow Creek. She'd moved in 6 months ago and decided the whole neighborhood was her personal project. White tracksuit clipboard and a laminated sheet with a bright pink QR code. 2 sidekicks hovered behind her Brad Dowie and sweating through his jacket, and Rick, who looked like he still had a curfew. Karen jabbed the paper toward Lucy. This is a private stop. Members only. Pay the fee or leave. I stepped closer, calm cup of coffee in hand. A fee, huh? What's that? Cover the privilege of breathing the air. She sniffed. Non-resident usage. $50 per week, retroactive to the start of the school year. Retroactive. I did the math in my head, $500 for existing. This wasn't authority. It was a con with a logo. Lucy's eyes found mine. Silent question. Are you going to let her talk to me like that? The dad in me wanted to roar. The cop in me knew better, so I smiled slow and friendly. Do you take credit cards or is it cash for this official transaction? Her chest puffed up with pride. Scan the code. We're a modern organization. I took a sip of coffee still hot, a small victory. Modern, huh? Then I guess you won't mind if I keep the receipt. That's when the first domino fell. I walked Lucy home, filed the image of that laminated paper in my mind, and called my wife Laura. She's the brains of the family, works at Lives for Puzzles. When I told her what happened, she didn't even look surprised. She's running a scam, Laura said flatly. Let's see how stupid she really is. That night, the kitchen became our war room. Laura scanned the QR code from a photo. Within minutes, she found the site, a half-baked page with clip art houses and a big Pay Your Fine button. Registered 3 months ago through a proxy in Panama. Payments funneled straight into a P.O. box downtown under one name. Karen Truman. I stared at the screen, a knot tightening in my gut. So she's not just bossy. She's committing fraud. Exactly, Laura said, fingers flying. And the victims, our neighbors. Elderly folks, young families, anyone who won't fight back. For a moment I felt tired. 40 years of dealing with bullies and badges on boards behind desks. Maybe I could just hand this off, let Internal Affairs or the DA handle it. But then Lucy's voice from earlier echoed in my head. You'll stop her, right, Daddy? Yeah, I would. The next morning I watched from the porch as parents whispered about the HOA lady. Fear travels fast. So I called Laura. Let's set a trap. Her grin through the phone was pure mischief. Operation Bus Stop Blues. I'll handle digital. You handle the crowd. That afternoon, I met Mark the dad whose phone Karen slapped and Maria, a daycare owner she'd fined for sidewalk chalk violations. I gave them each a button camera. Don't argue, don't react. Just record. Let her dig her own grave. Laura cooked up a fake payment receipt on my phone with a confirmation code that read NRCOT A R3 A H A. Subtle but satisfying. Finally, I called Deputy Miller. 8:10 tomorrow morning. Oak and Maple. Be nearby. That night, tucking Lucy in, she asked softly, Will that mean lady be there again? She might, I said, brushing her hair back. But you don't have to worry. A lot of grown-ups will be there this time. Promise? Promise. And as she drifted off, I made another promise to myself, peace is worth fighting for. Morning came sharp and bright. The crowd at the bus stop had doubled parents sipping coffee, pretending to chat, every phone discreetly ready. Then the white SUV rolled up. Karen stepped out in a neon pink tracksuit that could blind a satellite, flanked by her loyal stooges. Brad was lugging a heavy yellow wheel boot Rick a stack of violation stickers. Karen clapped her hands. Attention, the Grave Haven Estates, HOA is conducting a full compliance sweep. Zero tolerance for infractions. The crowd stared. Brad tried to attach the boot to Maria's minivan, dropped it, and howled when it landed on his own foot. Karen ignored him, spotting a small boy with a Spider-Man backpack. That's not an approved color. Confiscate it. Rick hesitated. The boy's father, a construction worker built like a wall, stepped between them. Touch my son's property, he said evenly. And you'll need pliers to get that clipboard out of your ear. Laughter rippled. Fear cracked. Karen's face turned crimson. Desperate to reassert control, she turned and saw Lucy. There she is, still unpaid. That child is trespassing. I moved before she reached her. Don't touch my daughter, she sneered. Rules are rules, and here's one for you, I said quietly. Keep your hands to yourself. Before she could retort, Doris, the crossing guard, appeared 70-something floral dress under a neon vest stop sign raised like a sword. Karen Truman. Are you bothering these kids again? She barked. You've got less authority than a garden gnome. Step aside or I'll cite you for loitering in a safety zone. The crowd chuckled. Brad and Rick started edging away. Karen doubled down, shrieking, This is official HOA business. You're all interfering. Perfect. I lifted my phone. You mean this business? I held up the fake confirmation screen. Paid in full this morning. Transaction ID NTAR 3ALH0A. She squinted, confused rage building behind her eyes. Right on cue, Mark called out, Got it all on video demanding money threatening a kid, Maria added, and trying to boot my van. Karen spun, cornered, shouting nonsense about Section 12, Paragraph 3. That's when I stepped forward. Ma'am, I said evenly, I think that's enough. She turned on me. Who do you think you are? You're nobody. You should be arrested. I smiled, small, quiet, the kind of smile that means checkmate. Actually, I've got a little experience with that. The street went silent. Every parent, every kid, even the wind seemed to pause. I'm Chief Lucas Morris, Grave Haven County Police. Her mouth opened, then closed again. Brad looked sick. Rick tried to melt into the sidewalk. I gestured to her tote bag overflowing with laminated notices. Inside that bag are forged documents, intimidation letters, and a QR code linked directly to your personal account. The county clerk just confirmed there is no Grave Haven Estates HOA. I hit speaker. Clerk's office came Pam's voice. Confirmed, Chief. No registered HOA at that address. Karen's face drained of color. The crowd gasped. Deputy Miller's cruiser rolled up quietly. He stepped out, calm as Sunday morning. Morning, Chief. We saw the videos. Ready when you are. I nodded. Seize the tote. Photograph everything. Karen stammered. This is a mistake. I pulled a bright pink self-inking stamp from my vest, the one Laura gave me as a joke. I pressed it onto her laminated form. K-Chunk. The word void bloomed in pink across the fake notice. Again. K-Chunk, and again, K-Chunk. The crowd erupted in relieved laughter. Karen's empire of fear collapsed in 3 rubbery thuds. Miller read her rights, clipped the cuffs on her wrists. She wailed, I'm a community leader. I leaned close low enough for only her to hear. Real leaders don't shake down 9-year-olds for lunch money. As Miller guided her to the cruiser, I called out, Hit the siren once, deputy. He obliged a cheerful whoop, whoop that echoed down the street like a victory song. No confetti, no cheers. Just a heavy silence turning into quiet relief. Parents exhaled. Kids boarded the bus. Doris blew her whistle and muttered, Clear the crosswalk for justice. Karen Truman's tracksuit flashed once in the sunlight as the patrol car pulled away. Then she was gone. Just another fraud learning what real authority feels like when it isn't hers. And me, I finally finished that cup of coffee. Still warm, still sweet. Sometimes peace doesn't come from avoiding conflict, it comes from standing your ground and stamping the lies out in bright pink ink.